Tunnel collapses at Hanford nuclear site. Hundreds of workers were evacuated from one of the most radioactive sites in America on Tuesday, when a hole collapsed in a tunnel used to store nuclear waste. The Hanford Site in Washington state covers an area of 586 miles, which is about half the size of Rhode Island. The collapse occurred in an area where two tunnels, used to store radioactive materials, joined together. The hole is around 20 feet long. The tunnels hold contaminated train cars and highly radioactive waste. According to reports, vibrations from nearby roadwork may have caused the tunnel to cave in. Emergency responders were using a robot to take video and survey the damage. According to Energy Department officials, there was no initial indication that radiation has leaked from the area. The last nuclear reactor to be shut down at the Hanford site was decommissioned in 1987. Say no to safe spaces on YouTube. Support TomoNews at patreon.com/TomoNews. Keep watching for more on nuclear technology. Russia plans to build a new nuclear-powered icebreaker. Russia has unveiled designs for a new nuclear-powered icebreaker that would keep the Northern Sea route open all year round. Russia's proposed nuclear-powered icebreaker, known as Leader, will exceed 200 meters in length and will be approximately 50 meters wide. It would be capable of plowing through 2-meter-thick ice at a speed of 29 kilometers per hour. It would also be capable of cutting through ice up to 4.5 meters thick. The new icebreaker would keep the Northern Sea route clear year-round. This would allow up to 300,000-ton tankers carrying liquefied natural gas to pass through the area during any season. Russia launched the world's biggest icebreaker, the Arctica, in June. The icebreaker is powered by 2 nuclear reactors and can break through 4-meter-deep ice.
2 nuclear bombs almost wiped out North Carolina in 1961. Declassified documents released this week have revealed that a multi-megaton bomb was armed when it crashed to the ground following an air accident over North Carolina in 1961. A B-52 bomber carrying 2 Mark 39 hydrogen bombs broke in half over the small town of Goldsboro, North Carolina, on the night of January 24, 1961. According to the documents, the B-52 suffered a failure of the right wing. As the plane broke apart, the 2 nuclear bombs plummeted toward the ground. The first bomb landed with its parachute open, but didn't explode because the safing pins that gave power from the generator to the weapon had been accidentally removed during landing, effectively shutting down the bomb. The second bomb free fell to the ground and was put into the armed position upon impact. However, one of the secondary sub-assemblies that contained a significant amount of highly enriched uranium was lost, thus the bomb did not detonate. The 2 bombs had an explosive yield of 3.8 megatons that would emit thermal radiation over a 15-mile radius. Had the device detonated, lethal fallout could have been deposited over Washington, Baltimore, Philadelphia, and as far north as New York City. The bombs that fell on Hiroshima and Nagasaki had explosive yields of 0.01 and 0.02 megatons respectively. The blasts from the Mark 39 bombs would have been 260 times more powerful than the weapons that were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. There are at least 21 declassified accounts between 1950 and 1968 of aircraft-related incidents in which nuclear weapons were lost, accidentally dropped, or jettisoned for safety reasons on board planes that crashed in various US states and other countries.
The UK votes to replace TRIDENT nuclear subs. For a small island nation, the United Kingdom holds what some consider an outsized role in global affairs. This is largely due to the country's nuclear strike capabilities, something that British politicians this week voted overwhelmingly to continue. On Monday, July 18th, the British Parliament voted 427 to 117 to renew the UK's fleet of Trident submarines, the country's sole nuclear weapons system. One of these 4 Vanguard-class submarines constantly patrols the world's oceans. The vessels are virtually undetectable because they use a nuclear-powered reactor. The submarines can be armed with up to 40 nuclear warheads, host 132 crew, and numerous torpedoes. Each measures around 150 meters in length. Nuclear missiles in TRIDENT submarines have a range of up to 7,500 miles, potentially allowing the UK to strike most of the world. The fleet operate out of the Fastland Naval Base in Scotland, with one always on patrol around the world. The British government estimates the cost of Trident to be around $40 billion, but some say that could rise to more than $200 billion over the project's lifetime. Say no to safe spaces on YouTube. Support TomoNews at patreon.com/TomoNews. Diver finds lost nuke off British Columbia coast. A Canadian diver looking for sea cucumbers may have found a long-lost nuclear bomb instead. Sean Smirchinski was diving in the Haida Gwaii archipelago in British Columbia when he saw a strange object. It's possible that the object was part of a Mark IV nuclear bomb that went missing in 1950. The bomb was a dummy capsule, meaning it was packed with lead instead of a plutonium core and TNT. The bomb was on board a U.S. Air Force B-36 for a training mission that included a simulated nuclear strike on San Francisco. Soon after the plane left Alaska, 3 of its engines caught fire. The crew was instructed to jettison the bomb over the Pacific. The Mark IV weighs about 5 tons. It is also known as the Fat Man bomb, which is similar to the atomic bomb dropped on Nagasaki, Japan during World War II. What is inside the US president's nuclear football? The mysterious nuclear football that travels around with the US president is about to be handed over to President-elect Donald Trump. The nuclear football, formerly known as the Presidential Emergency Satchel, contains 4 things: a folder of instructions for the emergency broadcast system, a black book listing a menu of strike options, another book listing secure shelters for the president, and a card with authentication codes for the president to confirm his identity. It also allows the president to communicate with the Pentagon from any location. The briefcase is hand-carried by one of 5 military aides who have passed a special security investigation. The vetting process, known as Yankee White, requires the aide to be a U.S. citizen and possess unquestionable loyalty to the country. The individual, his or her family, or anyone the individual is closely linked to must also be absolutely devoid of any foreign influence. The officer carrying the football must always be within reach of the president. If the president decides to deploy nuclear weapons, he must use a special code on the card to verify his identity, which has to be confirmed by the Secretary of Defense. The Black Book contains a menu of nuclear strike options, allowing the president to choose to eliminate all of the country's enemies at once, or only target individual nations. Once orders have been verified, the military issues the attack. The military may not veto the president's decision. Trump will be able to use the nuclear football at his discretion starting Inauguration Day, which is the first day a military aide tasked with carrying the package will begin to accompany the new president.